Hey everyone, welcome to Maych TV. What's happening? How are you doing? How are you feeling? How are you getting on in life? Have you been to a beer garden yet? All important questions, all important things to talk about, but none quite as important as what we need to talk about today. I think it's time. I think we need to talk about Sadio Mané. Hopefully, a week from now, this is all going to look very, very foolish. But right now, we're living in a world, in a 2021, where Sadio Mané has scored just one league goal since the turn of the year. He's not been at the levels that we've come to expect. And I just want to have a little bit of a chat about why I think that is and whether we think that's a problem moving forward or not. But before we dive in, the Super 6 YouTube channel is amazing. They've got the whole DL show. I've done it a couple of weeks ago. Chris Pajak is back on it this week, fighting the case for Virgil van Dijk as one of the best Premier League defenders of all time. Have a little look.
For me, Vidic is probably the third best Premier League centre-half for Manchester United. I'd
Yeah,
have Rio
I agree.
Ferdinand ranked number one. I'd have Jaap Stam ranked number two. And I'd have Nemanja Vidic ranked number three. Now, I can understand people wanting to place Vidic above Stam because of how many trophies he won there. I think that Ferdinand and Vidic partnership is what made that Manchester United so great, and that's why I think I've ranked Virgil van Dijk above Vidic is simply from the fact that I think a lot of players could have played alongside Rio Ferdinand and Manchester United won leagues.
Yes, head over there, leave a comment, support Chrissy P. Do it. Do it. My hetero life mate, Chris Pajak, needs your support. They've got a little poll going as well in their community tab. Basically, if you vote for Flav or Akeem and just not Chris, that'd be absolutely splendid. But yeah, go over there and say Maych sent you because it makes me look boss. Yeah, thank you so much, and I'll be back on that show in a week or two anyway. Right, okay, Sadio Mané. Yeah, I am lost. I'm at a loss with Sadio Mané, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, I've had a little look into it, just a little headline look into his numbers and in terms of what he's been doing this season. Now, there's some obvious things. And let's dive into a few of the things why we think Sadio might not be performing to the level we know that he can. Now, Jurgen Klopp was keen to sort of stress post-match a week ago that he didn't feel there was any physical thing hampering Mané. He doesn't think he's jaded or physically burned out or anything like that. He thinks it's a little bit of psychology, so he's just not... He's not feeling it at the moment in front of goal, and that's hampering his goal-scoring output. I mean, you look at the guy on the opposite side to him, Salah, who has played actually more minutes and scored a load more goals. Salah has been an absolute revelation again this season. He's going to end up with the second highest amount of goals that he's ever had for Liverpool after, obviously, the breakout season of his first one at Anfield, which is mega. And I think there's a fair point to be made that, if Liverpool had been better this season, if we've been firing on all cylinders, if you've got Virgil van Dijk and you've got we've got our best team, we know all this stuff. There's a chance Salah comes close to that goal tally from 17-18, which would be crazy. But Mané hasn't. And the tough thing is because there are some obvious comparisons between the two. Now, obviously, they play in that front three. They've got the same link man there in Roberto Firmino. And they've got a lot of similar sort of cultural touchstones. So, obviously, they'll have both been going through fasting and what have you, which is things sometimes when you look at footballers and whether the physicality and they have problems with stuff, that's sometimes a consideration. Or, like, sometimes from social aspects. So, you obviously think about the social thing of being able to go to or mosque or to go to church and stuff. And I know that both of those guys are big figures in their mosque. I've spoken to guys who go there and say what brilliant people they are, and people have not been able to do those kind of things. So there's those kind of factors, and then just in general the social life and factors as well. And it's very hard because when you've got someone like Mohamed Salah, who scores more goals than Sadio Mané anyway, but when you've got the guy who's like everyone's hampered by the same sort of life problems. And it's hard when you've got someone doing well. And Liverpool have had this when we've been talking about Liverpool's problems this season, looking at injuries and looking at no pre-season and looking at the variety of things, and no fans. And everyone goes, well, most clubs didn't have a pre-season. Every club hasn't had fans. And everyone's going through this thing. And I think sometimes it depends whether we're looking for reasons or we feel that reasons are just excuses. We're just quite happy to be angry with people for not being quite what we want them to be. I think it's a fair point to make. I think we all have this as well, is that just because you're handling something really well doesn't mean your mate is handling it just as well. Now you could have a very, very similar life, but it's in those fine margins that can make difference. You can have Your mum might be okay, but your dad's not okay, and you've got two people sharing the house, you know, living under the same roof, going through the daily patterns, but some people are just handling things better, and we all have our days and weeks and months where we're a little bit up, and then we're a little bit down, and sometimes, particularly if you're alongside people, they have their up days and down days. So it's it's tough for the Mané thing, because in some regards it's hard to go, well, why is he, because Mohamed Salah's played more minutes, and he's been relied on much more, and yet, you know, so burnout can't be a thing. He's been playing international games as well. He's had no pre-season. He's been going to major tournaments. You know, he hasn't had breaks from football as well, which are all reasonable cases for fatigue and burnout. But ultimately, what it boils down to is the different human beings, aren't they? Where I think it's tough for Sadio Mané, and there's a lot of pressure on him, and I think it gets forgotten sometimes just how much pressure we've put on the shoulders of Sadio Mané for a number of years. I think Salah's been brilliant. He is almost globally accepted as our superstar, as our icon. I think him and Virgil van Dijk as the figureheads for Liverpool, the de facto best players. But you think about Sadio Mané, he's done what Salah's been doing in terms of he's been playing the same minutes, look, there or thereabouts now for years and years. He also had one extra season as the absolute go-to man for Liverpool. So his first season at Liverpool, he is our main man. I think he wins fans player of the year, certainly. He's Liverpool's player of the year. He's unbelievable. But it's all on him. It's entirely on him. And I think he bore that really, really well. And Liverpool managed to just about squeak over the line into top four, you know, in those seasons as well. However, what we had to do was find a way to make sure that it wasn't all on Sadio Mané. So when Salah came in, I remember thinking, oh, well, we've probably bought him to rotate with Mané, because, and I made this point when people talk about the need for a number 9. When you've got a number 9 who should be on and end all, and he gets injured, your team falls apart because you've got one guy who's your go-to. He's the main attacking threat. If that falls apart, what do you do? Just look at Bayern Munich losing Lewandowski for the Champions League. That would have been a different story, I'm certain of it, if they played PSG with Lewandowski available to them. But kind of by the by for that. The point is, I thought that Sadio Mané was so important to what we were doing. We were going to protect him, and then it just turns out that we protected him by just adding another boss player, and then that got even more out of Roberto Firmino, and all of a sudden we've got this world-class front three who all score double figures goals every season, and that is unreal. And one point I often have noted about football over the years, and for me, I noticed it first in 2008-2009, the treble season for Liverpool was an example of this, and 13-14. One goal scorer is enough to get you into top 4. 2 goal scorers is enough to make you a challenger for the Premier League title and a decent fist in Europe. If you can get another person on top of that who's going to score 10 or so goals, then you can win absolutely everything. And what happened is we've built this three up, and they were doing absolutely everything for us. But we've never found a way to effectively rotate them in that period. That the next big challenge for Jurgen Klopp is, what do you do next? Now, going by Diogo Jota, that is clearly a step towards that. But the other lads who we've had, who've been the understudies, have done their bit and they've played their part. No one could say that Shaqiri didn't play his part in Liverpool's seasons, albeit briefly prior to this. Divock Origi's going to get a statue, definitely, at some point in his life, even if I have to make it and carve it myself. But we've never had someone to the same level as the lads that we've got. And you look at what Sadio Mané's done, and I think Salah has different burdens to bear, I think. And I think it just in terms of their personality and their characters, I think he bears it in a different way to Sadio Mané. I don't think Salah has to do as many of the hard yards on a football field. Over the years, he's often been the tip of the spear. We gear towards getting him in. He does his running in the final third, whereas Mané is up and down, back defending, just like straining every nerve in his body to make it happen. I think to Champions League final in Kiev, you know, Salah goes off. Who is the one man on the field who you think is going to go and grab that game for Liverpool? It's Sadio Mané. I think time and time again, when we got to the Champions League final again and won it in Madrid, and you think about winning the league title, countless shows on Redmen, I was saying nobody wants this more than Sadio Mané. He's giving it all of his being to making it happen. And now what's happened now, and I think this is just one of those things, they're saying there's no burnout, but I just burnout can come in multiple ways, in a variety of ways. It can be physical burnout, it can be cumulative fatigue, it can be psychological fatigue, and if you're adding all of those things on top of each other, sometimes it just adds up to more than we could ever really count. It should follow 1 + 1 + 1 = 3, but sometimes it just doesn't. It's a chemical mix of physiology and psychology that leads to a situation that it's very hard to put ourselves in a position to truly understand, because we're all different, we're all individuals, we all handle things in different ways. So Sadio Mané is in probably the most fallow period he's had, in fact definitely the most fallow period he's had as a Liverpool player, but I'm seeing people saying like, that's it, he's done. And I think we're very quick to make these judgments. I think this happens all the time. We're a week removed from people going, oh, that's it, Trent, get rid of Trent. No, nonsense, best right back in the world. Sadio Mané, you've got my good friend James Redmond doing Sadio Mané best in the world, and it became a bit of a meme, and it was great. It was great because he believed it and we all believed it, and I think Sadio Mané he's in that clutch of the best players on the planet. Absolutely. Unequivocally, without a doubt. He's just having a tough season. Even the best players on the planet have tough seasons sometimes. My overriding feeling on this is that I think he needed Diogo Jota to be available for the 18 games that he missed through injury this season. I think desperately needed it. And not because I think Sadio Mané needed to spend 5 games out. He just needs half an hour off every now and again. He just needs to know that he doesn't need to be the man who does everything for us, particularly right now. Particularly when you need squad depth, you need to rotate, because we've had to manage our way through injuries, and it has been a pressure-filled, stressful experience, and we just haven't had, the guys underneath just haven't been there. So Divock Origi's done nothing this season. Nothing. Xherdan Shaqiri's done a few bits and pieces, but really, he's just not in contention to be in the front today. Jota is, and then Jota's been injured, and I think that's a lot. And I think Sadio Mané's probably fallen foul of that more than most, and Roberto Firmino too, because there's another chat about Bobby Firmino. We've had that chat plenty of times. I'm sure people are having it in the comments right now. These are two lads in particular who've played a lot of football, and you look at the minutes played by Liverpool squad this season, it's all the lads that always play loads of minutes for us. There haven't been many, if any, examples of someone who's just come in and go, right, don't worry lads, I'm the cavalry, I'm here to help, don't worry, I'm Luke Skywalker, I'm here to rescue. No, none of that from Liverpool this season. Everyone who's been brought in to help has failed, either through lack of impact on the pitch or being injured themselves. Amazing. So yeah, he hasn't had that respite. He needs time off, I think. He needs to have a mental break. I think they all do. But again, some people are just more resilient. And I never would have imagined Mané wouldn't be resistant to these kind of things. But we'll just never know. Is it time to write off Sadio Mané? Absolutely not. What do you do with him now? Honest answer, I don't know. I think you've got two choices. I think you play him through it, or you give him a game or two off and you let Diogo Jota have a go. And you work your way through it. Liverpool have got what, seven games left in the season. Massive games. Each and every one is a must win. It is. It's a must win. It's a must not lose. But that you aim for wins and then you see where you stand on that. So we need Sadio Mané. And I just think hopefully we're in a situation where there's 4 lads for 3 positions now on the pitch in terms of those front today. If we can just do 60 minutes for you, 30 minutes for you, and then flip reverse it every now and again and just refresh in substitution and rotation, then we might have enough and we can get to the end of the season. You can go, right, boys, stop. Chill. Now, of course, that doesn't stop them having loads of international football all to come, which is all great. We've got AFCONs to look forward to down the line as well. There's going to end up being mid-season World Cups and, of course, Euros at the end of this season. Liverpool need... The answer, of course, in addition to this is the summer. I think Liverpool need one more. I think they need... And I don't think... It doesn't look like it's Takumi Minamino. It's not Divock Origi. And I don't think it's Xherdan Shaqiri, although I'd probably keep hold of him just for the why not of it all. Bring Harvey Elliott in and find one more lad of that level, and I don't care what it costs. Go big on another centre-half and go big on one more lad who was a 20-goal-a-season forward, because I think you need to insulate yourself against that, because I think Mané will be fine, and I think Firmino will always be Bobby Firmino, and he'll still contribute whatever he does. These lads need help, they need rest and rotation, but we might just need someone else to come in and carry the mantle. I think Jota's ready, and I think Salah's definitely got years left in him to be able to do it, but if we want to be a contender, then I think, yeah, we need to protect the players we've got, and we need to add true, genuine, top-level competitive support. Who could that be? Let me know in the comments below. It's Kylian Mbappe. Spoilers. Wouldn't that be amazing? There you go. Just do that. Just shine Kylian Mbappe. Solve all our problems. Right. That's it for me. Let me know your thoughts on Sadio Mané. Have you written him off? Are you angry with life? Do you need a cuddle? Or do you think he's fine? He's just going to be all right with a bit of rest and recuperation and a mental break? Yeah, let me know in the comments below. Do go and check out the whole DL show over on the Super 6 YouTube channel. Much appreciated if you do that. Subscribe. And also, I need to let you know, because Chris Pajak was battering my head over it, we have got a massive sale on the Redmen merch. Just go to theredmentv.com, click the shop, or just type Redmen merch in on Google, and it'll take you to the thing. I'll put a link in the description underneath there anyway. But yeah, there's a big sale on all of our Champions range of merch, so get it while you can, even if it's just in a commemorative sense to remember when times were much better than this and the times can once again get better. Sounds good? Sounds good to me anyway. But listen, thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, wonderful weekend, and hopefully Liverpool and Sadio Mané get back fit and firing against Leeds on Monday.